Hello. So I'm sitting here on a rock next to a creek in a little wooded area. So if you can hear the water in the background, that is what you are hearing. You may also hear some birds and other animal life that is around. I just started this recording and a dandelion, I call them wishies, just flew by. So that could be a sign for someone. You can also look up what they mean if you don't already know, but there's so many interpretations, and I like to sometimes look it up even if I've done it before, because it might be a different meaning in that moment. But I just heard in my head a heartfelt wish is coming to fruition. So that's a nice way to start this. I felt guided today to come here, and I just did a little meditation, some light language, and Kundalini breath work. And so last night I felt the call to do an energetic crystalline light transmission, and I'm setting the intention now for whoever receives this, and also the land, the organic grids within the earth as well. And as I opened up the container when I got here, I felt some different frequencies come in that I will weave through the transmission. And when I first walked up to do this, there were so many like little gnats around the water, and then I felt like I had to go to the bathroom even though I just gone, and I was kind of talking myself out of it. And then I decided I went back to where I'm staying, which isn't far from here, and I said, no, I'm going to come and do this. And so that's just a little side message. And when I just said that, my voice, I don't know if you heard, got a little clouded, like it felt like I had a frog in my throat. Excuse me. I just released a little burp. So when I burp, usually it's like a release of energy. So as I was about to say, navigating through that like moment of talking myself out of something I really wanted to do it. Like I could feel the excitement like building in my body as I was getting ready to do it. And I have been practicing like intuitive practices for years now, but I'm learning that it really sometimes doesn't matter how long. We all can still have those moments, of maybe talking ourselves out of something that we really feel that we're ready to do, and or want to do or want to experience. And that's okay. But I just wanted to share that just in case someone needed to hear, really always continuing to sharpen that discernment between, past limiting like loops and patterns, and, sometimes taking risks and breaking out of that mold. And I just downloaded a new oracle deck on my phone, so I pulled a few cards for the situation, and it was just so on point. And so we all have our different ways, of course, of navigating through that. And I really feel like some of the underlying intentions of this transmission will be to just assist in illumination of anything that feels like you're ready to see through, any smoke and mirrors. That was another card that came out. And it's not always like, you're the one that is necessarily seeing illusion, but sometimes when we're around people or places or things, environments, and we soak up information, it's like, it's not that we should always ignore logic, that's not what I'm saying, but to really learn to continue, again, no matter where you are with this practice, to sometimes trust something that is calling within, even if all of the outside circumstances kind of seem like it's running against. And now that I'm sitting here, the sun is out and I'm seeing these beautiful light codes come off the sun, and there's this like golden yellow aura that I'm seeing like peeking out the trees like around the sun rays. And now I'm seeing like this beautiful violet, blue, and like red coming through. And the gnats are here, and a couple of them were landing on me when I was doing yoga, Kundalini yoga practices. And yeah, I did some like grid work before I started. And if you are not familiar with that, just trust that if it sounds interesting to you, the right information will come. I also talk about it in other videos, so it may also be woven through this transmission that is taking place. Okay, so now it's going to be like a guided astral journey, meditation type of feel. So wherever you are, I invite you to just get comfortable. I don't recommend listening to this like while you're driving or doing anything active. Walking is okay, but sometimes also people will fall asleep during this, and that is totally okay. It just means that your subconscious mind needed to receive it more than, your waking state, or at least this reality waking state. So I'll give you a second to sit or lie down, whatever feels comfortable to you. I invite you to close your eyes and or let them get very heavy. You can like slowly blink them or blink them very quickly. Maybe start with closing one eye. And if at any point your mind starts to wander, you can come back to the sounds of the water or the birds in the background. You can utilize your limbs, like your hands, your toes, and your feet, just to bring your awareness into focus. You can also repeat a mantra or some sort of prayer or whatever works for you in your mind. And if there's nothing coming to a simple one I like to do sometimes, I just like to say, I am light and I am love. I am light and love. It just rolls off my tongue and I like to repeat it. There's also a Hawaiian mantra that I learned when I was in Hawaii from a Kundalini teacher and sound healer, and it always stuck with me. I love it, and I do that one as well. It's Oh Hey Mai, and it's really just like, from what I remember learning from her, is that it kind of like permeates all of the realms and dimensions upon which you are in like gratitude, and just kind of like tuning into the interconnectedness and the oneness through gratitude. So that's a nice one too. And we're going to start with a little breathing, just to maybe do a quick body scan. So if you want to breathe in through your nose and suck in a little bit more air and a little bit more, maybe pull in your navel towards your spine and just hold it. Maybe squeeze some of your body parts. Just squeeze a little bit harder, keep holding, and then like audibly just let it out. And take a few little breaths in between. And maybe just notice how your energy feels, any tension in your body, any parts of your body that feel extra great. Maybe what you feel, see, perceive when your eyes are closed. Kinesthetically, maybe what you sense through your physical body. Maybe symbols or colors you perceive behind your eyelids. And something I like to do is to take my thumbs, if there's some pressure behind the eyelids, and just lightly go under the eyebrow. Just kind of utilize your fingers or your thumb to almost like releasing all the pressure. And we're going to do another deep breath in, and this time set the intention to tune even deeper into your auric field and however you want to perceive it. I like to utilize multiple senses, just feeling, seeing, knowing, hearing, however it comes to you is perfect. So take another breath in as we're sending a golden frequency into the aura of healing and cleansing, activating and integrating. And breathe in again through the nose. Keep going. Another breath in. And if you can do one more, and just hold it. Pull that navel in again towards the spine. Squeeze any parts of your body that you can. Squeeze harder and keep holding. Feel the uncomfortableness if there's any uncomfort. And just sit in it for a moment. Just feel it. Maybe you feel some burning. Maybe you feel like your throat's going to explode. And then just let it out. And we're going to do one more breath. And this time, we're going to breathe in through the nose and then exhale, imagining a bunch of air coming out of your belly button. So like, kind of like pushing the air out and just really clearing the lungs, making space for these newer light frequencies of the crystalline frequency to come in. Connecting in with your cellular structure, your molecular, I cannot say that word right now for some reason. Your water structure. And through your heart space. And through your spine. The front and the back. And just permeating through all of your organs. Especially your skin, your lungs, and your liver. Your pancreas, and your spleen. Your blood and your bones, and your teeth. Bridging all of your subtle bodies into the stargate of our hearts. And as you breathe in, we're going to breathe in through the nose and just Let it out. And maybe take notice throughout your body, doing another quick body scan. Just noticing maybe any micro shifts. And actually taking a moment to set those micro shifts intentionally through the breath. And maybe throughout your day. And I invite you today to take a micro shift after this experience, to switch up something that you normally do, maybe try something new. It can be as simple as making a left instead of a right when you're taking a leisurely walk, or looking at that project that has been piling up that you've been avoiding. Or maybe trying a new flavor of tea or coffee or whatever you like to indulge in. And now we are going to attune in to our merkaba, our vehicle of light, our light body. And when I close my eyes, it often comes to me as two triangles, one that looks upside down on the top and the other one that is appearing right side up, and they kind of come and meet in the middle. And I'll feel and see like a spin, and as I've started this process, it's evolved over time. But however it feels and looks to you is exactly your perception. And I'm feeling the Elohim, Elohai, and the Seraphi, Seraphim gates of the gold and silver rays and light frequencies coming through. I feel them like weaving in almost as if they're being braided. But they're not quite touching, is what I feel. They are like swirling and like moving and dancing together in flow and unison, but they're not quite touching. It's as if they're like just side by side weaving, but kind of keeping their own spaces, which is really interesting. And now we're just going to focus on the spine and the lower back, like the root area into the Earth Star. And however these colors and frequencies come to you are also perfect. I'm now seeing a like liquid plasma red light that can also be connected to the Archangel Uriel frequency, assisting in the grounding of these frequencies, bridging these realms within ourselves, so that as we walk about our day and sleep and interact, we are grounding these really just potent omnipresence, crystalline frequencies coming through. Washing through down beneath the surface that you are sitting or lying or standing. Down through the beautiful mycelium network, the mushrooms, and the roots and the underground system of the plants, the ants, trees. Just feeling that interconnectedness we talked about in the beginning, deepening. And as you let your breath flow naturally. Yeah, throw. Maybe there's something you're feeling like it's ready to throw away. With love, of course. Something that's no longer serving, you can let it just the sound of the water flow out down into the earth to be instantly recycled and transmuted with a beautiful glittery white Mahatma energy golden transmutation, filtering with the ultraviolet ray. And you can kind of picture it coming back into your field as like a pixie dust of newness. And now I'm seeing it morph into these like plasma air bubbles surrounded by these solar light codes. They come to me in color and symbols, and they kind of morph and shapeshift as they flow through. But however they come to you is perfect. And if you can't quite perceive them yet, just trust that they're in your field and they will hatch at the divine perfect timing for you and your guides to set through. And I just ask that they come through with ease and grace and a little play and wonder. I just felt a burst of heat come through my heart space. So I feel majority of people that may hear this are filtering something through the heart. It doesn't quite feel like a heartbreak or something. Yeah, it feels like a filtering, like feeling with a new lens, feeling with a new perception and a new perspective. And as I said that, the energy just shot up through the crown, to the top of the head. And we are now going to set the intention to raise in through our vehicle of light, out through the stargate of our heart, and come up above our crown chakra. Like a beautiful, I'm hearing selenite. So you can imagine like a selenite crystalline quartz pathway opening through the crown and rising in, setting your awareness a few inches above your body, rising through this beautiful selenite quartz crystalline stream of light, of liquid light, being supported and held by the Elohim and the Seraphim, going through the gates into the stellar gateway, which is the chakra that is located maybe a foot or two above the head. And it holds so much of our galactic memory, consciousness. But of course, in order to really hone in on these energies and embody them, I always find it best to ground in first, to rise and remember and expand into the cosmic consciousness, into the angelic crystalline blueprint memory imprints. And as we continue to rise, I'm now feeling a Metatron, which usually for me is associated with the number 307. And again, I'm feeling this beautiful selenite quartz crystalline light path coming in through each individual cell. The more you raise your awareness and your conscious point of time space to expand out, up, in all omnipresent directions. There was a helicopter flying over by, so any outside noises, try to utilize it as like a white noise. Robert Monroe from the Monroe Institute, if you've never heard of him, was someone who had many, many out-of-body experiences and astral journeys. And he discovered that binaural beats and frequencies first utilized on a plane, like the white noise of a plane, would help people kind of sit into an altered brainwave state, which allowed them to more easily tune into the astral planes and the subtle bodies. And so it's just an invitation that sometimes in the external world it might feel like there are distractions, that truly is a practice within to continue and cultivate that mastership, that mastery, no matter what is going on externally. And as we continue to expand, when I got to this rock that I often come visit, I found a citrine crystal that I actually gave as an offering maybe a month ago that was still there. And so I brought it to be a part of this transmission. And so you can imagine, a citrine, which is like a yellowy golden color that's often associated with our solar plexus, our confidence, the masculine energy, our drive, our will, our own central sun. And as I sit in front of this sun, it's one of the first really nice sunny days we've had where I am currently. We are exiting winter and about to approach spring. So it could be a change of season in your life, literally and or metaphorically. And to really stay anchored into that solar, strong, masculine inner compass of trusting yourself and anchoring in your confidence. You can call in that citrine crystalline frequency. You can utilize one if you have it physically, or you can just close your eyes and call it in, or both. And you can imagine it now expanding this beautiful golden yellow. You can feel any texture that comes, any temperature changes. To me, it's like a warm glow, golden, liquid, velvety light coming through, flowing through your belly. Imagining it coming from the sun itself. And if you're someone who does sun gazing, you can call on when you're having any moments of feeling maybe some darkness, or if you just want to tune in to your own auric field that receives these sun codes, you can tune in anytime, even if you're not directly with the sun. And if it's not something of a practice you do, maybe this is an invitation to start sun gazing. And if you already do, this is just a nice time to reflect in and see and feel that it's always with you. These solar codes within us. And as we continue, the liminal space, the space in between waking, sleeping, different realms, connecting deeper with the angelic aspect of your own soul's monadic structure. And by angelic aspect, you may already have a deep relationship with this, or maybe it's new. Maybe there's another aspect that you haven't met yet. There could be a convergence of multiple different facets that are coming together. And by connecting into the angelic aspect and or aspects, it's just setting the intention to connect with a part of you that has already gone through these purifications. Maybe resides in another dimensional aspect of your own oversoul. And we're just going to set this intention to connect in and to ground in any parts that are ready to come back whole, healed, and transmuted. And I'm feeling like we are meeting at a stargate point, or a dragon egg, a golden dragon egg ley line. And when I say stargate, I mean an energetic point in space-time that allows for only the purest of intention from the heart space to bilocate our consciousness. And as I say that, I feel the energy like really lightening up. So if there's anyone who maybe feels a little bit lightheaded or dizzy, just take a breath. You can always pause and come back, get some water, because as we know, when we transverse these realms, it's not quite in a linear fashion, so don't worry. But if you're feeling like you want to continue in this present moment, then I invite you to set your parameters, if you will, to expand a little bit more, a little bit wider, like on the horizontal plane. And you can feel any black stone or crystal or like liquid lava of protection. I set the energetic container of protection before we started, but we're just calling in an extra layer. I'm feeling like a black onyx coming through, and a beautiful white onyx of these crystalline frequencies. And you can imagine these solar light codes that I have been discussing kind of shining into the spot, into the golden egg dragon ley line that you feel called. It may feel familiar to you. You may be in multiple places at once, so you might feel like you are somewhere on Earth, like in Mount Ida, Arkansas, or Hawaii. I'm hearing Kauai. And I'm also feeling a connection into the dragon realm. The realms of the dragon. I heard in my head Sirius C, but we don't need to put any labels on it right now. So whatever comes to you is perfect. There's also, again, that liminal space. And when I've connected into these liminal spaces, one particular memory coming to mind, I went through a little portal, and then it was like a void. It was blackness, but it had its own energy, its own consciousness within it. And I felt so safe and held. So allow yourself to continue expanding into this multidimensionality of bilocation, or trilocation. And as we fill into these spaces with our omnipresence, I invite you to imagine a star grid. A place where it can come through a sacred geometry, like you are being held by a sacred geometric star. You might be at some point on the earth where the land surrounding you is actually in the shape of a star. And if you've never seen these, they actually exist. You can Google them. You might want to do that after this if you feel called. And I was having these memories that I remember from like the Lemurian epoch. So there's maybe a Lemurian aspect of your soul or guide who's stepping forward. And I'm seeing like a tiny key with a gem. Here's another helicopter. You can utilize that as white noise. And whatever this key and gem is for you, you may recognize it right away. It may come throughout your day when you least expect it, or in a dream, meditation. But I'm seeing these golden and red colors. And I'm hearing the ruby ray. And I'm seeing it being placed in your stellar gateway chakra. Retrieving an auric key code from the Lemurian frequencies coming through. And as we co-create this star grid together, energetically, emotionally, I set the intention that the reunification for the highest good of all, of these bilocation abilities and memories through these beautiful stargate networks throughout the multiverse. And for those who are also doing this that we may not be connecting with physically, just to take a moment to say thank you to ourselves, to everyone assisting, and to know that we can come and connect in these liminal spaces and continue co-creating from a pure heart, of course, with the highest intentions for grounding these new paradigm frequencies of a crystalline structure in nature, working both with the unseen realms, recognizing, remembering, and illuminating the unseen realms and thanking them, and knowing that really we are truly all connected in that way and one through the omnipresence and the consciousness that we continue to expand. And in this star grid of an organic grid structure, I invite you to just take a moment and explore. Maybe notice in these spaces, are you there as pure consciousness? Do you have a physical vessel of some sort? If so, what time space is it presenting in? Is it this current body? Maybe it's this version of you, but pure light and less density and bone mass. Maybe you are shape-shifting through into different aspects. Notice any sounds, feelings, if anyone is with you. Maybe you're being called to transmit some of your own light. I like to imagine, I invite you to do this with me if you feel called, a figure 8 coming from my own auric field into my surroundings and setting the intention of giving and receiving, like an exchange. And not with an agenda, of course, just whatever is meant to be for the highest good. Maybe you're called to do the Ho'oponopono prayer. Please forgive me, thank you, I love you, I'm sorry. Maybe you're just meant to sit and bask in the spaces. And I'll just give you a few moments of silence. As I invite in your high self or angelic aspect to send you some sort of message, gift, whatever is ready to be received. And again, if it's not something you know instantly, then just trust it will come at the perfect timing. And while you're exploring, I was also guided to do some light language and transmit certain grid work and auric field attunements and energetic activations. And I felt my right rib light up, and for me that's usually holding on to others' emotions, opinions, empathic sponge retention. So I'm just setting the intention that anyone here who feels that they may have soaked in anything that is not of their highest good, to just flow out of your system. Flow out through your cells, allowing for cellular regeneration, molecular structure, rearrangement in its highest, purest crystalline form, that this vessel is ready to emit and to emanate. I just felt like that triple goddess energy, but I felt green Tara, white Tara, and Kuan Yin coming in for that deep compassion, empathy, and trust, and gentleness. And now I'm feeling the swan, which can be associated with the Cygnus constellation, holding and anchoring in the 22 crystalline strands of DNA and the future Earth grids that are being co-created. And when I say future, I mean those of us who are multidimensional and have our being in multiple places and are grounding in those purification, crystalline DNA activations, transmissions. And if you don't feel connected to this, that's okay. You can still kind of just hold the space and allow, just like the story of the ugly duckling into the swan, anything that is ready to be transformed for yourself, for the collective, any collectives upon which you are connected, and for anyone you love, not to force it, but just to hold that space for them. Any parts of the earth or any other planets, spaces, realms, dimensions that you feel connected to for the highest good. Any parts of your what we sometimes call fragmented aspects, where we don't quite see ourselves clearly, just to receive any swan medicine. And before we head back, I invite you to just maybe say your goodbyes, any last observations, I feel like there's some sort of sound bath or sound frequency. You might hear some tones or just feel like there's kind of like the music of the spheres coming through. Maybe like some sort of toning or chanting. And if you feel called yourself to allow anything out of your throat that has kind of been maybe dormant, or maybe it's something you do often, I invite you to allow it through, and not to judge what it sounds like or what comes through, but just to let it out. And know that sometimes these sounds that come through can really be encoded with these crystalline healing frequencies and tones and the cosmic sounds of the spheres that permeate through and connected in through this beautiful planet that we live on, with the animals and different beings that we connect with. It might even just be like a slight humming, like And if it's not physically coming out, that's perfect too. And you can use these sounds to start to feel into your own physical vessel, calling back. I don't feel like we're coming back the way we came. We're actually going to take another path, a different energetic template, a different energetic stargate template of the Catharian healing grid. And that beautiful selenite quartz liquid light path is coming back from the stellar gateway down through the crown into the heart, and allowing it to flow. Usually the stellar gateway will, from my experiences, flow down and then kind of curve down and up and out. So you can feel yourself coming back through, releasing any of these beautiful frequencies we cultivated and picked up along your path for the highest good. Allowing these crystalline keys, gems, and gifts that we have received to integrate into our fields. And this is such a natural process, so there's no need to force. Just allowing, setting the intention. You might notice, or this has already started, that maybe your skin has been like clearing up a little bit, or just feeling brighter, like more light shining through your eyes. You might notice like your fire energy, like that kundalini inspiration, creativity has been flowing a little bit more easily. And if not, I'm hearing that it will probably start to kind of ramp up. And this is just a nice reminder to, stay hydrated and take extra really great care of yourself, and whatever that looks like and feels like to you. And if you're already doing this, then just like a nice pat on the back, of course, to sometimes just come back to the remembrance of how important it is. And I just wanted to thank again, if you're still here, for co-creating this energetic imprint and crystalline energetic light transmission activation. And all of the beings who were present, even if we didn't quite maybe say them all audibly, we all have a beautiful team, I feel, with each of us that are co-creating this experience. So just a thank you. And to this earth and its multidimensionality of ourselves and our connection to the different spheres. And the filament of the star network. Maybe next time you go outside, maybe you already do this. Just an invitation to connect deeper with the stars. And I remember one time I looked at the stars, I had a microdose experience of mushrooms. And I could see these beautiful, like, milky white lines connecting all the different stars like we see depicted in constellation photos. And it was just so amazing. And I just got this knowing that, you know, the filament between the stars of the network communication. So you can tap into that anytime that you feel called. And if you're already doing that, this is just an invitation to continue when you feel called to do, and maybe take your practice to the next level and whatever that means for you. And I still see this communication. It's like it unlocked something, that experience unlocked a knowing. And now whenever I really tune into the stars, I will see or feel the filament connection of that like milky white line, and see these beautiful different colors and orbs and like shape-shifting light frequencies coming from different parts of the stars. And so, yeah, it's just a nice reminder of the interconnectedness, like when we started in the beginning. And I invite you now, if you feel called and ready, to open up your eyes if you haven't already. Maybe move those micro shifts in your body. Fingers, toes, a couple neck rolls slowly. Maybe rock on your spine or shift your spine a little bit. And just be open and curious today for that micro shift intention that we set of what you're being called to explore or try. And if you need your body to have some rest, maybe more than usual, and you have the time to honor that, maybe pay attention to your dreams, any visions, new inspirational ideas, journaling if I didn't already say that. Maybe you'll feel called to express something that will maybe surprise you a bit. And with that, I hope you have a beautiful rest of your evening, morning, afternoon, whatever it is. And yeah, thank you again.